Last time on Square Roots, Zegram enacts his inevitable betrayal, Jaster gets into his ancestry, and Seed turns into a centaur after failing to complete a Rubik's Cube.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Square Roots. I am your host, John Brandon, and with me today is the Squeakables, Matthew Van Zandt.
Yep, that's me, Squeakable.
Mm-hmm. And also is Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, John.
And welcome to Square Roots. This is the classic RPG podcast where we play through a RPG one chunker at a time.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Does it?
This week we are on part 7 of 8. So we're almost done here of a Rogue Galaxy.
Yeah, that galaxy's gone rogue.
It's gone crazy.
Jaster Rogue's going rogue.
Now, this game is called Jaster Rogue's Galaxy, and it's about the Joker. He starts going by the name Jackster in the future, because it's, that's the future spelling of Joker. And so, yeah, Joker's Rogue Galaxy.
You've heard of Rick Steves' Europe. Well, get ready for Jaster Rogue's Galaxy.
So before we do we get into the frog log, we should probably do a level up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, where we level up. Vanessa.
Okay.
How did you level up this week?
Haul out the holly, it's time for my most favorite time of year, when Christmas movies from Hallmark and Netflix suddenly appear. So I watched The Princess Swap. It was really bad. It's about a princess who swaps places with a girl, and they are at Christmas, and they fall in love. It's time for Christmas movies now.
The girls fall in love?
No, that would have been pretty cool. No, I watched Netflix's new entry into their Christmas canon, which includes movies like Prince for Christmas, and A Royal Christmas, and Christmas Princey Time, Princess Christmas Girl. This one's called The Princess Swap, starring Vanessa Hudgens and Vanessa Hudgens.
Now, I heard that Netflix made a lot of rom-coms last year, and that it was big business for them, and they're expanding it this year.
Well, they certainly seem to be. I watched this with a group of people who I do not know. Well, that's not true. I know some of them. But they were fans of the podcast The Flop House. And they sometimes like to do a thing where everyone sits in their respective homes and hovers their thumb over the play movie button, and then all start at the same time, and then talk about how stupid the movie is while you watch it. It's pretty fun. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to go out somewhere, and if you like to make fun of stupid Christmas movies.
I always thought it would work better if it was in like a messenger instead of on Facebook, because the comments don't load good.
Well, this time they did it on Facebook Messenger.
Oh,
so
man.
You got the best of both worlds.
I would have participated in that.
Well, maybe next time you can. The best part of this movie, and there were so many good parts, was when one of the characters says, "Hey, let's watch your favorite Christmas movie," and they pull up their Netflix queue and watch A Christmas Prince.
That's your favorite Christmas movie?
No, that's the character's favorite Christmas movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the point is that Netflix has reached Netception, and the characters are watching Netflix Christmas movies in the Netflix Christmas movies.
I love it.
So do the Netflix ones have weird Folgers placement in them?
Like Folger's coffee?
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite incest coffee at Christmas?
What?
Incest?
What
the fuck just happened?
Incest coffee?
Yeah.
What?
Come on.
The
You guys
best
know about
part
that.
of waking up is
Yeah.
having sex with someone that's a blood relative.
Yeah. You know, the Folgers incest coffee. Everyone knows about this.
Oh, you meant instant. Oh my god.
Oh, John, I didn't get it either.
Oh my god.
Actually, I did not mean instant, but that would have been a better joke. You guys haven't seen the Folgers incest commercial.
No.
It's really famous.
Why are we talking about incest?
Hang on.
What's going on, Vanessa?
Hold on. I need you guys to put the podcast on hold.
Oh,
Open up Messenger. I'm going to send you a link, and we're all going to watch this together, just like the group watch.
This is going to be a
All right.
4-hour episode, which is good because I'm currently editing a 2-hour episode.
All right.
Well, I think the last one's going to be a big one. So,
Here's the link. Are you guys ready?
okay, hold on. I'm going to. Okay, I've got the link. Yeah.
All right. Play commercial.
All right, I'm loading it up.
Must have the wrong house.
Sister? Oh, I missed you so much. I waited up all night for you, you know.
It's a long way from West Africa. Oh, real coffee.
He's here.
Brought you something before away.
Really? Oh.
What are you doing?
You're my present.
It's a stretch.
It's not a stretch. Did you see that lingering look?
Wait, is that what you were getting at?
Right?
Yeah.
Is that's
You know who
the
thinks
joke?
that's got something to do with incest? People that don't have siblings, Vanessa.
I don't have any siblings, and I don't understand the relationship between siblings.
We don't understand sibling love. All incest.
Siblings miss each other. Must be sexual.
She puts
Vanessa only
she
understands
puts
sexual
a ribbon.
love.
I mean, yeah, true. But she puts a ribbon on his chest, and then she's like, "You're my present this year." And then he looks at her like, "Yeah, I'm going to give you your present."
Oof.
Really? I just thought it was like.
And he looks
hey,
at her
haven't
like,
seen you in a
oh, I
long
love
time,
you, you're
and
my
just,
sister.
Just seeing you is present enough because we don't get to hang out anymore since he works and lives far away.
Have we gone far enough down the disturbing rabbit hole that is Vanessa's fucking concept of
Also,
siblings?
why does her mom look the same age as her?
She
Because
looks like she is
Hollywood.
14, bro. Watch that again. That's a little girl.
Is it?
No,
Yes.
she's like
Grown up.
20.
No.
That's why
that is
when he gets to the door, he's like, "Whoa, I must have the wrong house. You've grown into quite the woman."
Yeah, because
So,
she's like
okay.
she's like teenage, like an early teenage or young teenager.
So is this a meme?
My kid's not 16 years old.
Is that what you're getting at, Vanessa? Is this like a meme?
Of course it's a meme. I didn't just make this up out of whole cloth.
Is this your level up, Vanessa? Is your level up showing us an old Folgers commercial where you wrongly assume there's incest implied?
Wow.
We haven't had a
So,
good
Vanessa-
Burn Vanessa episode in a
Yeah.
while, so.
My question was, do the Netflix movies have Folgers product placement just like the Hallmark ones do?
Delicious.
I did not notice any Folgers coffee in the film. The film did not feature any siblings, so maybe that's why I overlooked it.
Oh, I see. Have you seen that film that I worked on last year? I'll bleep it out in the actual podcast, but Christmas.
No.
You should watch that.
What is it available on?
I guess Hallmark Channel stuff? Like, do they do streaming?
I don't know.
It might be free on their website.
I don't think this is from the commercial, Vanessa. This just looks like random other people.
I am trying to illustrate that
No,
it is
they're
not
kissing
just
in this one. Stop it!
it's
that
not
a
just
parody?
me.
Stop sending us literal incest. Fucking God damn it, Vanessa.
Who made that parody?
I don't know, but look, the point is, I wasn't sitting at home watching TV being like, hey, check out this incest commercial. I was sitting on the internet looking at dank memes. And they were like, hey, check out these memes we made about this incest commercial.
All right. We get it, Vanessa. You got it from the cool internet. This isn't your own headcanon that you came up with.
Folger's incest coffee.
You're too cool to watch old commercials and come up with your own theories about whether or not people are having sex in them.
You know what? From now on, that's all I'm going to do when I watch any commercial.
My roommate's boyfriend, actually, we don't have any coffee in the house, but my roommate's boyfriend bought coffee, Folgers Instant. I've never had it before. How is instant coffee?
Not good.
It's not good.
Oh, okay.
Although,
Good to know.
I mean, I'm not one to talk because I, to my shame and the horror of the environmentalists listening, often drink Keurig coffee that comes in the little plastic pod and just
Now, I was
destroys
thinking,
everything.
The only real problem with those versus other single serving containers is that they're non-recyclable, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Keurig actually does come with or you can get a thingy that's like a mesh, so you can use coffee grounds and then wash the thingy.
Now that's interesting because I do have one of those, but I heard that the modern current iterations of the Keurig, they design them so that you can't use those anymore.
What are you talking about? You can't use the little meshy thing anymore?
With newer models, as far as I am aware, unless they changed it in the last, whenever I read about that.
That's shocking.
Yeah, you don't remember that? There was like a big outcry on the internet about it because it's so anti-recycling to, force people to use your shitty plastic cups.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of wonder why they didn't just go with a cardboard, like a one-use cardboard cup you could just throw into compost after. Like, they made it out of recycled cardboard, like, it would work once. It would be a little soggy after, but you could throw into compost.
And coffee grounds are great for compost.
Yeah. Weird Keurig. They're just riding the money train all the way to the apocalypse.
This is still my level up. So let's move on.
Matthew, how did you level up?
John?
Yeah.
Vanessa?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of a little property called He-Man?
Yes.
Do you remember a He-Man from your child babyhood years? When you was a little one and you played with the smacky men?
To tell the truth, I do. In fact, I have a tub in the basement full up to the brim of He-Man dolls and She-Ra dolls.
Ooh, She-Ra. That's a great segue because next I was going to ask you about your familiarity with She-Ra, the He-Man spinoff.
When I was 5 years old, I fell off the monkey bars and broke my arm. It was a very bad break. I broke both bones, and they stuck right out.
Oh, no!
Yeah. And I was a little kid, and I wandered over to the teacher, and I'm like, my arm hurts. And they were like, oh, don't look at it. Oh, my God. So I had to go to the hospital for a few days.
I imagine.
Every day I was in the hospital, my mom or dad brought me a new She-Ra doll. And the one that they brought me that made the most stir among the nurses was Montana. The guy whose eyes bug out of his head. And the nurses loved it so much, they borrowed him and walked around and showed it to everyone. And then I have a very clear memory of the nurse, poking him around the corner of the door and making his eyes bug at me. And I was like, ha, 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 I'm a painkiller. Yay. I also got the horse. She-Ra's winged stallion. Yeah.
Ah, Montana. I remember this. I think I had this too, actually. With his buggy
one of my friends
eyes.
did, but we did not have. I didn't have very many He-Man dolls.
I actually didn't either. I say that, but in reality, it was probably one of my cousins that we used to go stay with. They lived on a farm with a lake, and we'd go hang out and spend the weekend at the farm and hang out on the lake. And they had a huge collection of He-Man and Micro Machine stuff for some reason. And I played with all of it there. They had all the castles and pretty much all the figures and all the accessories. It was pretty cool. I never had anything like that in my own home. Anyway, to get back to my original topic, She-Ra has a new show on Netflix.
Whoa.
And I watched it with my eyeballs. And it was amazing. Number one, thing one, I got choked up at the end of the first episode in a weird way where I was like, why is this affecting me so much? I don't understand what's happening to me.
Was it because you were so upset that She-Ra was not sexy enough?
No, it was not. I don't really want to, do we need to address that? I'm sorry that some people have bad opinions.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about them and I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I like the design.
I think they look great. And having watched the full first season, I would like to heartily recommend it to literally anybody that's listening to this. It is excellent. I think it suffers a bit in the middle. It drags. I think it gets a little episodic. But I'd say the first 3 or 4 episodes and then the last 3 or 4 episodes are all pretty fantastic. And they look great. They have beautiful backgrounds. There's some stiff animation here and there, but the character designs are great. Catra is my new favorite character in any media. That is Adora, aka She-Ra's buddy at the beginning, and then they kind of have a falling out, and she sticks around as kind of an antagonist, and she is delightful and wonderful. And,
Is Glimmer in it?
Which one's that? Yes, Glimmer is it's about Adora. Mm-hmm. This version starts off, I think, a little different. I'm not sure, because I know I watched some of the original She-Ra cartoon, but I don't remember it that well. But this one starts off with Adora as a member, living with the Horde, the bad guys, and then she, kind of has her eyes opened to the truth of the world and joins the rebellion against the Horde, and that includes Glimmer and Bo, who I would love to be my best friend in the whole world. He's the best boy. I
had a Bo doll, and he had a button in the back of his chest that you could press and make a heart appear on his armor.
He just has a heart as part of his character design in the middle of his chest, and it looks great. And he is a good boy, and he is definitely the best son I've ever had. That's not true. I can't say that. I love my son. But he is definitely my favorite fictional son now. Bo, he's delightful. And then there's a whole host of other characters that are all, pretty entertaining. And I think that, I think you would love it. I'm kind of shocked you haven't gotten around to watching some of it yet, Vanessa.
I'm very busy. Y'all ever see that documentary on Netflix about the making of the He-Man doll?
I did, in fact, watch both the Masters of Grayskull documentary and the Toys That Made Us version of the same documentary that is about half as long. The Masters of the Universe documentary is interesting because it has really quiet, low, ominous music playing pretty much the entire time for no good reason.
Okay.
It really weirded me out the entire time. But it's also basically just the exact same thing as that Toys That Made Us episode. I don't even know if it's worth watching. Though they do get into the He-Man movie a lot, which is pretty entertaining if you're interested in that bonkers shit show.
As I recall, the Toys That Made Us documentary sort of attributes the decline in popularity of the He-Man doll to the rise in popularity of the She-Ra doll, because kids were all fucked up in the 80s and boys were like, wait, girls like this? Then I can't like this. We have to keep a clear gender division.
That's not how I remember that. I would have to rewatch it to be sure, but I don't remember the documentary implying that. I remember one of the people that they interviewed implying that, or really explicitly saying that is one of the reasons he thought that was done. I don't think the documentary itself was like, and that's why He-Man failed. I think that it was more about this guy's dumb opinion.
Commercial toy cartoons have a lifespan of like 3 or 4 years. Like they never go much further than that.
Have you heard of Pokemon?
Well, that one's not the same really as the and also I think the games are different than like toy collections, because I don't remember any of them as a kid being like G.I. Joe did last in the 3.5-inch figure thing for that did last 10 years, but by the time I was really into G.I. Joes, it wasn't very popular anymore, and the cartoon kind of died around that time too.
I mean, yeah, I'm messing around, but I'm not arguing with you. Like, of course it was gonna fade off. That's just what happens. New things came along that captured attention. Basically, He-Man, I tend to think of it more of a Generation X cartoon, and I think that it got replaced really by the millennial version of He-Man, which was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, because I was there for the end of He-Man and the beginning of Ninja Turtles, basically.
Yeah, that's about where I am as well.
Yeah.
But I'm a little young for it. I don't remember He-Man I don't remember ever seeing He-Man episodes on, like, television. I don't remember coming home and watching He-Man cartoons. I remember coming home and watching Ninja Turtles and stuff like that, but by the time I, like, can remember things solidly, so let's say 6 or 7 years oldish, He-Man was well past gone. I was basically a toddler when I was playing with those He-Man toys.
There was a Heroes of Eternia TV movie that introduced She-Ra that I thought was amazing. Like, I thought it was and I think it probably was the best, because the He-Man cartoon kind of stunk. Like, it was bad.
It was bad.
But that crossover episode they put a lot of money into, and at least as a kid seemed way more interesting. Like, it had a cool plot, and like those two met for the first time and were battling like Hordak and Evelyn and Skeletor, and
I kind of vaguely remember that too. I think that's in there with some other stuff. I think I rented that a bunch. I rented that.
It did have
I rented
a VHS
the
version.
Care Bears movie. I rented the My Little Pony movie. No. I was obsessed with the second Rainbow Bright movie.
What?
Because it had
Wow.
like a space prince or a space knight, and he had like a rocket horse, and I thought it was the coolest goddamn thing on the planet when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And to this day,
adorable.
my brother still brings it up to mock me.
No, I love that.
I know, I agree.
You were too young for Robotech, right?
What
Yes,
is a
I was definitely
Robotech?
too young for Robotech.
I've never even heard of it.
It was they basically crammed together 3 different animes into one show. Like, the first season was Macross, the second season was some other thing,
Yeah,
and the
it's a
third
weird
season was some
thing.
other thing. And I just remember, because I was like 5 when Robotech, the first season was on, and I started getting into it at the end, and I was like, oh wow, now second season's starting, I can really follow it. Because it was the first show I'd seen that was a continuing story, like first cartoon I'd seen. And I was really excited because I really liked Rick Hunter and this whole plot. And I remember the second season started and it was a whole new thing with different characters. And I just remember being like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm too young for Robotech. I remember renting like those movies like I mentioned, and the Transformers movie and the G.I. Joe movie. But none of those shows did I really watch a bunch on television.
Right.
By the time I was watching like my own cartoons, it was Turtles and X-Men and that stuff. Anyway, we have gone way off the rails and we are 30 minutes in, and I think that John still needs to level up. So
I'll do it real
Jonathan,
fast, I promise.
give us a level up, please. Our listeners are going to be real mad at us for this one.
Yeah. I'm sorry, folks.
It's not your fault.
That's what the fast forward button is there for. Don't be
all of our
afraid to
fault.
use it.
I leveled up by, I bought Killer 7 because it's only $20 on Steam.
Was it?
Killer 7?
Mm-hmm.
It is a game by Shinji Mikami, I believe. Who did Resident Evil 2 and a bunch of other games. And, this game is sort of a first-person adventure game with some rail, like you walk around on a rail basically, so you're going backwards and forwards on a preset path, but you can take turns. And it's a crazy anime adventure game that is one of the most well-written but insane games I've ever played.
Wait, what's it called again? Oh, Killer 7, yeah.
Killer 7.
Didn't that
yeah.
only come out on the Wii?
It came out on the GameCube.
Oh, GameCube.
I thought it had a PS2 version, but maybe it didn't.
What am I thinking of that came out on the Wii? It was like his next game, wasn't it?
And this port looks amazing. The game looked amazing at the time. Like, it has this really cel-shaded polygon look that's, it's really stylish.
Mm.
and really interesting. And it's by Suda51, who did some other stuff like No More Heroes, but I think this is his best game that I've played. It's with a mouse is way easy, except the controls still reference the GameCube controller. Like it's a very sloppy port where they didn't change enough. But I think I just have to figure out how to map it better to keyboard and mouse, because this game is easy with a mouse in a way that it was very hard. Because it kind of aimed like GoldenEye. You held down the trigger to point at things. And I strongly recommend trying it on PC with a mouse. Play it with a mouse, because the game's too hard with a controller. And I also had a video game party on Friday where we played Rock Band.
Cool.
And we played Mario Party, and we played Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Wow. Ultimate Chicken Horse.
I'm planning on buying Super Mario Party for the kids for Christmas. I'm really excited to then get to play that with some of my friends. Oh, John's got it. Cool.
Yeah, so I bought it. And I'm like, well, I gotta buy it on cartridge, because if I hate it, I can sell it back, because Nintendo games you can sell for like 3/4 of what you bought it for.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Because they never drop in price, which is obnoxious.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the biggest problem I have with all Nintendo products, actually. Like, there's no decent sales. Even their sales aren't very good.
And I think that with Switch games, if you are buying a Nintendo one, you should probably buy it on cartridge just in case you don't like it.
Yeah, that's a good
point. And then
point.
you can always throw it back. And that's it. That's my level up.
All right.
It was quick.
Well, John, thank you for keeping it short. Let's dive into the quest log.
The frog log.
The frog log.
recorder. How can we call it the frog log and not the battle recorder? Battle recorder would have been a better name for it. We've already had a frog log.
But
You've already had a frog log.
There's a function on the menu called the frog log.
There's also a function on the menu called the battle recorder.
Yeah.
Listeners, write in and tell us which one you prefer. For our last episode, we'll go with what you say.
So, a few episodes ago, we unlocked this planet called Alistia, which is like a watery paradise planet. It's got rings like Saturn around it. And I thought this was going to be like in Valkyria Chronicles or like in Persona 3, a beach episode where we go to the beach, everyone wears their beach wear, and it's fun.
Yeah, because they talk about how they're basically going on a holiday.
This doesn't happen.
No, holiday.
I know. I wanted a beach episode.
I want a
I
holiday.
wanted to see Digo's Speedo.
Yeah.
Instead, we get caught
damn
up
it,
in
John.
some local politics.
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
So this is a planet that is populated by all of these various kinds of fish-headed men that we've ran into in this game and mentioned several times. There's dolphin head men, and shark head men, blowfish head men, angelfish head men, clownfish head men, penis head men, all sorts of head men. And so I don't remember what happens at this part of the game at all.
Well, this is where we are going to go. So we go to Alistia, and Alistia is this water planet, and it's got these fissions in it, and they have dumb names, and I'm trying to find the names of these characters. I think it was
Who could
Nermals, right?
care? Yeah, it's Mermals and Nephlins or
Garfields.
something like that. Mermal and Nerfle. And from what I understand, the Mermals are just like everything that is anthropomorphic. Like all the fish, all the dolphins, all the sharks are a Mermal.
No, I thought it was the other way around, because I thought the mermal was the mer lady. There's one girl that
cares?
looks like a traditional mermaid, and I think she's the mermal?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
then the rest
the
of them
Garfields are the
Niffles.
ones that look like fish, and the Nermals are the ones that just have little fish webby ears, and that are the hottest people in the galaxy.
Yeah, that's what Steve told me. We were walking around and he's like, the Nermals are known as the most beautiful race in the galaxy.
I agree. That shark-headed guy was totes hot.
No, the other ones. The mermaid ladies. Which she just looks like a normal woman, except with web ears. But I guess that's what makes her beautiful.
Does she have footsies or does she have a tail feet? I thought she had a tail feet.
I don't know. She seems to get around, but I guess we never really see her walking.
Yeah, is she a mermaid?
I thought she was, but I could be wrong.
Well, it doesn't even matter because she's not even there.
Yeah, so there is a dolphin boy. He's a tender soft boy, a soy boy, if you will.
A soy boy dolphin cuck.
And he's very into this girl.
Yes, but she is gone.
She is gone, and they're fairly sure the Datron Institute both kidnapped the girl and stole the greatest treasure of the Garfields.
Yes. There is some political backstory that the Niffles and the Wiffles don't get along and have been at war for a long time. And they talk about some environmental issues, like the Datron facility has been polluting the waters to such an extent that this girl might be the last of the Fiffles. And she sort of was found battered and bruised and I guess toxified from the water, and Soy Boy Dolphin Boy nursed her back to life along with his friend Shark.
Yes, and they became besties.
Yeah, they're all good friends. I think Dolphin Boy would like to be a little bit something more.
Right.
But that is not the case. Nevertheless, the treasure is missing, she is missing, and Dolphin Boy is determined to go find her. The fish are like, it's none of our business. Dolphin Boy is like, but I love her. Shark Boy is like, listen, stupid dolphin, you don't even know how to fight. I'm gonna go save her. And Dolphin's like, no, I'm gonna do it. And then you offer to help, and they're like, fuck you. We don't need outsiders.
Yeah. And yet, even when, in maybe one of the most white knighty colonial moves, even when they say, we do not want your help, please do not interfere, we're like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and interfere.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a little bit of interfere. Just a smidge interfere here.
Yeah, I mean, you silly fish people don't know what you're doing.
You don't know what you want. You don't know what's good for you. We're gonna interfere.
So we decide to follow these fish people as they make their way to the Datron Institute. And on the way, they get attacked by these creepy doll things. And it looks like they could get killed by them, so we run in and destroy the creepy doll things.
That's right.
Now, normally there is a game script available, full game script on GameFAQs, where I've been getting all the characters' names and all the location names and stuff. Unfortunately, they did not do the script for this planet.
Yeah, because this planet is an optional side planet, I believe.
Yeah. But that is why I don't have the names of the characters like I normally do.
Yeah, I think the listeners are probably like tearing their hair out and rending their clothing.
I'm sorry.
So upset they are that they do not know the given name of Soy Boy Dolphin Boy.
It's important. Anyway, so then we keep going and we get attacked by a monster.
Oh no.
But Shark Boy saves Kasala from being killed.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. Shark Boy's like, well, now we're even. But stop
Shark Boy
following
and
us,
Lava
okay?
Girl?
Yes.
My kid's favorite movie? Man, you would be surprised how many kids love that fucking movie. That is a huge hit with kids. It's a cult hit for kids. Legitimately.
Did
Every
they like
kid
Spy
I've ever
Kids?
met loves that movie. I don't think they ever saw Spy Kids.
I wonder if, I know that, because those are Rodriguez there. He made those. Because because there wasn't any movies with Latino heroes for his kids to watch.
Oh, is
So
that
he made
it?
them. Yeah. He was just super tired of his kids having to watch white kids all the time.
It is just the cheapest, shittiestly made movie, but it is perfect for kids. They don't care. Like, they look like colorful superheroes. It's got a great aesthetic. I can't argue with it. Like, it's trash, but like, what?
I found like was it Spy Kids? I thought that was all right for a kids movie.
I haven't. I'm talking about Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I've not seen.
I
Spy
just mean
Kids.
like his writing for kids movies. The only one I've seen was that one, and I thought it was fine. I haven't seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl though.
I mean, it's terrible. It's awful.
Okay,
It makes no sense, but it's delightful, and children love it. So who cares?
Mm-hmm. So we go to
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
We go through this long walk. It is a very long walk. And you get to the end, and there's the Datron Institute. I'm like, oh, we better get prepared for this dungeon that we're going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
The game's like, nah, you know what? You know what, buddy? You've had enough dungeons.
Yeah. I so appreciated this because you know what? I have had enough dungeons.
So what the game does is you get some cutscenes on the way of the doctor, whose name is somewhere here. Oh, Dr. Isel, who appeared for the first time in a cutscene last episode, I think. Or maybe like when we were finding all the pieces of the tablet. So 2 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one with the giant brain pan. And so we get a cut scene to him and this other guy who is
Oh my
half
god,
a
that's
man
right.
in a robot suit, and that's his brother.
Yeah. And because in this game we get like a backstory about everyone, we learn about their sibling rivalry.
What a
Yes.
fucking insane place for this game to go. Hey, remember this side character whose name you barely know and who hasn't mattered to this game or the plot in any way, shape, or form? Here, let's tell you a little bit about his family life. Let me introduce you to his brother. It's got nothing to do with anything, but hey, you know.
So his brother is Golba.
I like
course.
this, actually. Imagine if you could read a book and you had the option sometimes to just go down a little side novella. You like stop here and it'll be like, hey, if you want to stop here and go read this little novella about the main character's sister's boyfriend, now's the time. You can do it if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it if like Game of Thrones was like, hey, here's some. Actually, it's a great idea because then you could cut out 90% of the book.
Yeah.
There's some kind of book, I think by the children's author Avi. It's sort of a fable, and it follows these people gathering these sort of ancient artifacts for some purpose I can't quite remember, but every other chapter is the main story, and then every other chapter is about one particular artifact. So you could like read through and just skip the little mini stories in the middle, and I think that's sort of what you're saying.
Jurassic Park has something like that. It's every chapter that stars the computer guy trying to fix the computer problem. He gets like 10 chapters in the book, and they're all absolute computer jargon from the 80s nonsense. And you can just skip
I
right
really like
past it.
that book, but
I love that book a lot, or at least I used to. But boy, you can just skip right past those.
so this brother, Golba, he was experimented on by Isel, and they sort of allude to it. That when they're talking, Isel's like, oh, hey, you know, I'm kind of really sorry about all the experiments I did on you. And Golba's like, don't worry about it, bro. You know, past is past. You might have chopped off my lower torso, legs, and arms, but I've got this cool robot body now. So let's look at the half full side of the glass. And so he's standing on the roof of this facility. And he's like, ha, foolish fish people, we have your girl. And
We have your girl.
Yeah. And
She
then
didn't even have a name. Just, we got a girl.
I don't remember her name, sadly, but she's there, and she walks out with the thing that they're looking for, the artifact.
Yeah, and they're like, cool, our friend Kidnappy has it. So
yeah. And she's like, well, actually, as a Nermal, I don't really like you Garfields.
Yeah, she says she'll never forgive them for what they did. The South will rise again. Nermals forever.
And that she was lying, that they were friends, and was just gaining their confidence so she could steal the artifact. And then we get attacked, and everyone's super shocked, and then we get attacked by this big crab monster.
Yeah, just a big crab.
Yep.
I thought maybe it was like a reskin of that frog that we fought. It seems to fight in a very similar way.
It doesn't do the area of attack stuff, does it?
Maybe not, but it sort of jumps away and then jumps back and
you can only hit it from the front. So I just used my illusion sword, walked around far, far away in front of it, and then just swiped at it until it died. Except that halfway through, they're like, oh, we're having problems with this boss we're easily killing. Uh-oh.
Oh.
And then the girl just feels super bad about it. Because she actually does like Shark Boy and Soy Boy.
Yeah, they were friends all along.
Yeah, is this a threesome relationship? Because I kind of felt like it was.
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
Yeah. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to smash your greatest treasure for some reason.
Yeah, to really stick it to you. But she also says that it belonged to her people and then they had stolen it from them.
Yeah, but I think smashing it helped defeat the boss or something.
I don't know.
So she smashes it. The boss goes down real easy. And then,
we did a piss poor job keeping track of what happened in this one.
Yeah, well, I don't think much. I think I looked away and the resolution of what happened to Robot Man happened off screen or happened the second I looked at my phone or something.
All I really remember is the brother character that we had originally met at one point talking to one of his minions and the minion being like, isn't what he's doing totally useless to us? And the brother being like, yeah, I just gotta, he's my brother, so.
Like Izel?
Yes.
Yeah, they said something like, oh, he's trying to bring people back to life, but that's not possible and stupid.
Oh.
And all we really want to do is make these monsters.
Right. Okay. And so then the girl, Shark Boy, and Soy Boy go back to their village.
Yeah, the power of friendship has saved the day.
And they're like, hey, well, we asked you guys not to interfere, but you did, so thanks, I guess. And we're gonna have to try and work out our differences between Nermals and Garfields.
Garfields?
Making this joke for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful resolution. And with that,
very memorable part of the game.
We fly away from Waterworld. Waterworld has a lot of good shields for sale, so
Yes.
I bought a whole bunch of those.
Waterworld had a lot of weapons that I had not gotten yet, so I just bought everything.
Yeah, I have. Okay, so one thing, Jaster has. I haven't got a new sword or gun for Jaster in half of the game now.
I still have to keep that shield breaker gun equipped all the time. So what's even the point of guns anymore? It doesn't even matter. I haven't gotten anything new either, which is annoying, but at the same time, it wouldn't matter. I can't use it. I have to always have that fucking gun equipped, or you have to equip it mid-battle, which is obnoxious. And the Desert Seeker, or whatever it's called, is still 370 something attack.
Yeah.
It's the highest one I've gotten in the game. I've still got the Libra King's sword, and I've been upgrading that as well. Right now it's called Libra King's Fury.
Yeah, I got it to 280 or something.
Yeah.
It's well, but the Desert Rose is way better.
Yeah. I had a level 48 sword that I maxed out, and it still didn't have the attack power of the Desert Rose or whatever, but I tried to feed it to it because it was a higher level, and the frog was basically like, this isn't going to turn out well for you.
Yeah.
don't do this. And I was like, oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I've just been trying to like feed it those. You can put gems. You can combine gems with swords too, so you can like level up the desert rose.
I don't think it changes the attack value at all.
Oh,
I've tried, and I think it just changes like the elemental values, and those have not come into play in this game in any noticeable way for me. I mean, maybe something's happening with the math, underneath the attack rolls, but I don't know what.
Yeah. So we have this gate we've opened when we did all the tablet stuff in the last episode, and we went to the labyrinth. And this gate is a warp gate to Eden.
Hey, that's where we want to go.
Except we can call it Mary Glen.
Right. Or what's the full name?
La Marie Glenifald or something.
Yeah, it has 3 names.
It basically
the first
has
one,
like a person's name, and then it has a nickname that is just like I don't know how to describe Mary Glen. Just a basic ass name.
A portmanteau.
And then it's everybody else's name. Eden. That's the best name.
Yeah.
Just stick with that, dummies.
No. So, we're like, Dorgan is super psyched to fly through there so he can get the eternal soul, the greatest treasure in the world. So we fly through this like super fancy looking warp gate and get out the other side, and there's a beautiful hyper advanced planet. Meanwhile, Kasala's kind of worried that something horrible is about to happen. She's like, everything is telling me not to go through that gate. I'm real worried that I won't be able to help you and that something's super wrong. And Jaster's like, oh, whatever, baby, it's fine. You'll be fine.
Because they're
It's
totes in
cool,
love
baby.
now. I did get that attack that you talked about. One of you talked about that was like the lover's kiss, and it's basically the dry humping, and then a planet explodes. Like that's the attack.
No, I thought the planet exploding was supernova.
Maybe it's a star exploding. Like, there's every time you do any of these attacks, they end with a planet exploding or a fucking meteor smashing into a moon or a nuclear explosion. It's crazy.
So we get there and we're like, oh, what a beautiful, highly advanced planet. And we start flying over it. But then this like evil mushroom ship appears. It looks real bad.
Yeah, there's some kind of straight up thingamajig.
Mm-hmm. And it is attacking us and sending lots of flying beasts to attack the ship. Clouds of them. And we're like, uh-oh, better prepare the big guns. And so we start trying to prepare the big guns. But meanwhile, our ship is getting so wrecked that we're not even sure we'll have enough time to charge up the big gun.
Why does everyone who has like some kind of big super weapon have this system where it takes forever to get it ready?
Oh, because you don't want to leave it charged and have it accidentally go off.
I guess.
It's like leaving a gun loaded in your house.
Oh.
Yeah, Vanessa. Jesus Christ.
Or having an erection all the time.
What?
What?
Isn't it?
What?
Is that how it work?
What?
No. What? It's no.
It's like you're ready to go off at any time.
This stops here. We are not going down this one. I refuse to be drawn into this madness.
That's not how penises work, Vanessa.
Oh.
There's like, you're mixing up 2 states. There's the state of...
Oh, man. John, don't take the bait, man. We got a video game to talk about. We went to Mary Glen.
All right, so we went to Mary Glen. And so the robots start flooding out of the castle to help us. And they're robots like what we saw in the dungeon. The one that may have killed Burton?
But Burton back alive as Ghost Man now.
No.
No?
Last we saw Burton, he was about to be killed by a robot.
Oh, that's right. Didn't he die?
In the labyrinth. We'll talk about that next episode.
I think he died like halfway through this and then came back to life. Didn't he die like 2 episodes
he did.
ago?
He did die. He died off screen. Got killed by a beast, but then got revived by the 2 princes. The ones that stand before you.
God, this is the worst game ever made.
Go ahead now.
This is... All right, so Mary Glen. We go and we get there.
Marry me.
and we meet the princess, and she's like, I'm your mom, Kasala. And Kasala's like, what? And then, I don't know, I guess from Vanessa's perspective, they probably do some incest.
Like everything. We didn't get to the big guns. The big gun goes off and shoots a big hole in the giant creature.
Does.
It was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Vanessa.
What? I'm just saying, the big gun goes off and shoots its powerful blast at the creature.
And everyone's happy because the big gun actually worked. We sit
or as Vanessa calls it, the big erection.
This is sort of an anti-Parasite Eve, because remember every time they had some kind of big attack to kill the Parasite Eve with, it would like break or not work or somehow destroy New York. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's the reverse of that.
Yeah, so I was really surprised actually that it worked, because usually these things don't work out.
Never. So the Dorgangoa lands and we meet Queen Fridius.
Yeah, Queen Mommy.
Mm-hmm.
And Kasala is super stoked. Really, you know what? I have a thing to say.
Okay.
Put everything on hold. It's Vanessa's observation time.
All right. Vanessa's observation corner. The corner where Vanessa observes.
Many times in these games, we have children who are estranged from their parents, and there's some kind of reunion. We saw it twice with Jaster already in this game. And in those reunions, there's rarely any kind of show of physical affection. I don't know if this is a Japanese thing or a, like, we don't know how to animate two characters without clipping them together thing.
It's the second one.
But I really, really appreciated that Kasala embraced her mother when they were reunited, instead of just being like, oh, mother, finally we are together at last. I've waited for so long.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's nice.
Dorgangoa's like, oh, wait, so you're her mom? You're a princess?
Yeah.
Wait, what's going on?
I definitely was like, so the queen banged this big fucking monster man? What happened?
No, she didn't bang that big monster man.
Monster Daddy come later.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Oh. So, Dorgangoa meets the queen. He's very annoyed at Jaster. He says he'll murder Jaster because Jaster knew about Kasala being a space princess, and Dorgangoa didn't. He likes to know everything. Mm-hmm. But we get a Phantom Menace style hanging out with the royals scene where she gives all the backstory.
Yeah, her planet is infected by Mother, who is the source of the runes. Mm-hmm. She decided that the only way to protect the rest of the galaxy from Mother was to seal her planet off.
In a space/time cleft.
It's very Doctor Who. And, but she didn't want her precious baby to grow up in this cleft because the planet was, infected by Mother and Rune. So she sent her out into the galaxy. That's where Pirate Man found her and raised her as his own. Pirate Man is very excited to finally do some actual pirating. His whole goal this time was to get to this planet and loot their treasure. And so he launches into his pirate attack, which is politely asking for the treasure.
Yeah. And she's like, well, you can totally have it, except I don't have the internal soul. Mother has it. But I love how polite he's like, so, well, if it's not too much of a bother, would maybe it be possible for us to take your treasure?
Yeah. And at first she's like, but then she realizes that he raised her daughter, and she's like, oh yeah, of course, anything you want. Thank you so much for protecting my daughter and raising her up. You're a great, good guy.
Mm-hmm. And then he's also like, oh, her mom is, quite something, if you know what I mean.
Which is great, because her mom looks just like his daughter.
Oh.
I mean, she does.
She's taller.
Yeah, she's taller.
Yeah. And she likes big guys.
She's not the only one, eh, John?
Well, I'm just saying, judging from her previous husband, and now she's single. Well, she'll be single in a minute.
Did y'all look behind the throne? There's a super cute outfit for Kasala back there.
No! Oh, I'll have to go there.
Yeah, it's like sort of a harem pants kind of thing, and
Oh,
it's
I don't
called
think I
Her
got that.
Majesty's Regalia.
I gotta go back now.
Ooh. I got, you do get a new, like, sexy outfit for Jaster, I guess. It's like a combination wetsuit and Titus's pants.
It's funny. I like the way it looks on top. It's like blue and yellow, and he's got like a red bandana, which covers up his terrible haircut. I think it's actually pretty good. It's just that from the waist down, it's a pair of shorts with a pair of boots that comes up almost to the bottom of the shorts and some sort of tights in between. And it does not look good. And the boots are pointy, and he looks like an idiot.
Yeah, I do like that it's kind of a final, it's a very Final Fantasy.
I think it's more of a Dragon Quest outfit.
I don't think that a black turtleneck is like the best look.
Sorry?
I think it's... Which one are you sorrying?
Oh, Vanessa.
It's okay. It wasn't that important. Continue on.
Well, I'll cut it in 5 times right now.
Cut nothing in. I was just talking about a turtleneck and how it's not like if you're working up a sweat and going to all these warm planets, it might not be the best choice of clothing.
Well, sometimes there's cold, although we haven't been to any cold planets, have we?
No.
There's no Hoth.
No, I mean, the closest, I guess, might be the mining planet, but I'm just inferring that maybe it was cold because it's nighttime all the time there.
That's actually a good point. You'd think that planet would be cold as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably is.
Like
I think
unlivably
it's
cold.
kept warm by the thermal energies from the mine.
Huh.
Yeah, that's true. It did have flowing water, so it must be warm enough. So Dorgan Goa's like flirting with the queen, and it's really, actually, I thought it was really adorable. Although at this point, she does have a husband that she's not mentioning.
She, I think, mentions that he's dead.
He's dead.
If he's not dead,
He is dead.
Maybe she thinks he's dead.
He a ghost monster.
No, I thought he was like a
I don't
turned
think
into
he's
a
just
monster.
hanging out in the forest, living there. Like,
Oh, okay.
I
That's
think-
what I assumed.
just living in the woods, basically. He didn't look like he was just a dude living in the woods for 1,000 years.
See, I just assumed that we killed her husband, and now Dorgan Goa will be like, "Oh, so I hear you're sickle." But
Yeah, oh, I heard we killed your husband.
Well, Dorkin Go is not around for any of this.
so this is a JRPG, so she also has to drop the fact that there's a prophecy that the son of the Star King will appear and bring an age of peace.
And that's Chaz. And
Chaz.
buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Goa. Speaking of Dorgan Goa, he is out of his mobility device.
Yeah, so I guess he can walk short distances.
Yeah.
He just, yeah.
You know, some people have that kind of mobility, and like maybe they're able to move from the parking lot to the store, but then they need the electronic scooter. And do not judge them or mock them for it. It's perfectly legitimate.
I think that is more common than full-time wheelchair use.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And people get very upset by it. There's someone in my recording studio gesticulating at me and I believe mocking me for taking a stand on this particular issue.
Is it your cat?
No, it was Vanessa's mom. But,
Is it the real Vanessa's mom or the quotation marks Vanessa's mom?
well, I hope it's the real one.
Okay. All right. So, Fredius asks us to meet with Yuvin. Not Yevon, Yuvin. You might remember Yevon from Final Fantasy X. If you
sure
don't know
do.
what we're talking about, go back and listen to our Final Fantasy X series. It's one of the best ones we've done.
And then play Final Fantasy X and dodge 200 lightning bolts.
I tried and dodged like 180.
That's pretty good.
It's not good enough. Anyway, so Dorgan Goa will help save the planet because he thinks Fredius is hot and he wants to get the treasure. And now we go down to Yuvin, who is this guy. He's like a bishopy type guy who there's a really long bridge you have to cross.
Mm-hmm. Hey, John.
Mm-hmm.
Is your Dorgan a goer?
Is she a Goa?
Is he a goer?
A go? What do you mean?
Is he
A
a
goer,
goer? Does he, is he a goer?
Yes, I do go places.
I bet you do. I'll bet you do.
Wank's as good as a nudge to a blind bat, eh?
Yay.
So we get to this bishop, and he's like, yeah, you gotta do this trial in Tiatha Forest. It's gonna be pretty hard for you, Kisala / Iriath, because it's your dad. It's related to your dad, so just FYI, this is gonna be rough.
What?
And as soon as you leave, Yuven's like, well, I can die now.
Yeah. His job is done.
Yep. So then you walk through this forest for about 2 hours, and finally at the end, there's a big purple lion with wings.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
A new friend.
A new friend for us. He's gonna fly us around to all the locations. He'll be a real flammy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of flammies, did you fight any flammies?
I don't remember Matt.
One of the random encounters is just called flammy.
Yeah, I do
is
remember
it?
that. What did it look like? I can't recall.
I think they're just little tiny creatures. They weren't big ones.
I mean, at this late stage in the game, my strategy is, as we have mentioned before, which is to just blow everything up the minute the fight starts. You would be surprised how many monsters I don't even fucking see.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I just do Desert Winds twice for everything, and then sometimes I don't see any enemies at all, but then they're gone.
Sadly, this strategy will not work for Chapter 12.
Oh no, but that's my only strategy.
I know. Chapter 12 has really, really annoying enemies.
Yes, it's got tall boys, and it's got shield boys, and it's got barrier boys, and
Volcano boys.
That's a tall boy.
I thought you meant the super tall ones you have to jump. The ones that are like golems.
Yeah,
It's
the
got those,
volcanoes
too.
are like that too.
Right.
All of the tall boys are tall boys. If you have to jump to hit them, they're tall boys. It's a really shitty control system where, you have to swing at the right time, but it's all too stiff to work properly, so you miss a lot. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
And there's these, well, we'll talk about it next episode. So we meet this big lion, and it turns into a sexy, sexy dad.
Monster Daddy!
Who is like a big Hercules type with a cute beard and arms for days. He must have been lifting as a ghost in that forest 2 hours a day or something.
He was a real Ryan Reynolds.
He's got some magical growth hormones that he's injecting into himself. He's a lot more muscular than Ryan Reynolds.
How is that possible? Have you seen those pictures I sent last week?
He is pup sex cult levels of muscular.
Let's definitely talk about this 4-hour cutscene where Daddy cries about his little girl, but also informs you that he's a monster now and that you have to murder him.
Yeah. We've seen these kind of monsters know they're monsters and want to be murdered before. I can't quite put my finger on one, but I know it's happened. I guess Jecht, sort of.
Yeah, I'd say this is definitely a Jekty kind of situation. And he's, afraid that we will have to kill him for real. Although I guess you guys already think he's a ghost. I think he got his mom thinks he's dead, but he's been living as a lion in this forest for the past 1,000 years.
A lot of these, there's been a lot of these in this game. These people that are actually monsters,
yeah, the one in the dungeon with the Henry, and Gorka or whatever his name was,
Henry Gorka.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. There's no telling. Let's just put it this way: this game ain't gonna tell us. So anything that we make up with is just gonna be made up anyway.
Yes. So he's like, so I am under the spell of Mother. Mother controls all my actions with rune. What you have to do, you see, is get these pieces of Drigellum, which is inside all of us, to make a sword to defeat Mother by stabbing inside her through her heart. And then you have to fight Dad.
And it's not a hard boss fight, but I did appreciate that Daddy Monster looked pretty good. He's a giant cat monster with like wings and horns. And he's purple, I think?
Yep.
And he's pretty
We've
rad.
seen this lion motif a lot. Like the Rubik's puzzle had sort of a lion on it, and it's a reoccurring theme.
It did actually, it looks just like the statue over the labyrinth that gets created by the Lubric. Yeah, it's thematic.
Yeah, I noticed something.
So you fight Dad, you kill Dad. There's a final cutscene where he's like, "Look, your kindness, is your power, and that's your treasure." And her kindness becomes a Dragellum.
It's the Rubik's Cube of happiness.
What?
I guess it's just the Dragellum of happiness. Isn't it called the Dragellum of happiness?
Is that okay? Is happiness? Sure.
I thought it was.
I thought it was kindness, but you could be right. It could be happiness.
Oh, no. Okay, kindness. Whatever.
Well, I can
that
tell
makes
you.
more sense because, like, if she's just happy, like, that's not really a good attribute. It's just a state of being. Like, it's nice to be happy, but it doesn't make you a good person. Lots of bad people are happy.
Oh, yeah, we totally forgot that Mother interrupts this whole thing. If you
Mother?
remember. Yeah.
Kasala's mother?
Yeah, Kasala. Well, I don't think it's Kasala's mother because that's Freed, whatever. But Mother's like, "Servant, have you forgotten you only live because of my mercy and generosity?"
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Peace out," and
That's
leaves.
total, like, bullshit Stockholm stuff.
Do you see her?
I think you kind of just hear her. It's the first time we really talk to Mother.
Is
I guess
she
that's
gonna
important.
be another, like, witch of the tomb who just have a baby somewhere and that's why she's so upset?
I think she's more of a Necron, like a bad guy we only hear about in the last minute of the game.
Yeah, I mean, seems to be probably the final boss, which is great storytelling. Like, just, set up all these other people who are potential final bosses, like Seed, or that purple guy, or Dr. Robot, or Mio. But then, nope, it was just this other person all along.
Mm-hmm. Well, the
And what about
Dragellums.
General Cat? What happened to him?
Yeah. God, this game sucks.
The Dragellum of kindness is the one that comes out of Kasala.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's real sad, and he's like, "Let me look upon your face one more time." And then he becomes transparent and disappears.
No, Daddy Monster!
And and then from the distance, Yuven's like, "Well, it's my time to die now." Like tears in the rain, time to die. And he explodes too.
Yep.
Oh boy. And Kasala's okay. They're going to move on. They are going to head deep into the cloister of trials. No, the cave of
Deep in
trials.
the heart
Basically,
of
though.
Texas. Clap, clap, clap.
Now they need the supers, the Dagons of everything. So everyone
Dragellum.
has a Dagon.
Yeah, and spoiler alert for the next chapter, we're gonna go get all those, and each one's its own nice long tunnel. So,
That's great.
hope you got some time.
Well, at least I don't mind this because it's a good way of resolving basically every open plot thread
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'd like
so
to
we
know
get
more
some
about
closure.
Mark, please.
for everything. You get
Oh, God. Kill me.
okay. I don't want to
hello,
spoil
Mark.
everything.
All right,
so
nope,
who
let's
knows?
just
Maybe
stop.
that.
We'll
maybe
talk
that
about it
does.
next week.
Maybe that doesn't get resolved. We'll find out
Daddy, it's
Next
me,
time.
Mark.
on Square Roots. So I was like,
have so many adventures.
I thought I could maybe do the Insectarium thing.
Oh yeah, that.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep putting down these things and
Hang on.
checking it.
Are you saying that we're in John's bullshit minigame corner?
Yes,
John's bullshit minigame corner!
because to get into the Insectatron tournament, you need 5 insects, and I got 4 like 2 episodes ago. And so this time I was like, okay, I'm going to keep putting down a insect trap so I can get one. And every time I went back to the insect trap, it's like, oh, there was an insect in here, but it disappeared.
I would think that there would be some frickin' rad insects on Eden.
Me too. But the game's like, this stupid, we don't really want you to play our mini games, so we're going to make them impenetrable and annoying. So if you do want to try these mini games, please write in and tell us about your experiences with the mini games for this game. I want to know, because, they are impenetrable. And that is my mini game corner. How about we find out if we're roundly for or squarely against the events of this episode?
Okay.
Vanessa.
Yeah.
What are you squarely against?
I'm roundly for the big gun. Because, as I said, in these games, it's always the case that they charge up the big gun and then it breaks or it's not effective and it does the Dragon Ball thing of having a big explosion and then the dust clears and then, whoa, Kefka's there and he's totally fine. Now he's Ultimate Frieza Kefka or whatever. So I was really happy and excited when that big gun blasted that big ol' hole. Big guns, roundly for them.
What about you, Matthew?
I think that I'm just gonna be roundly for Monster Daddy. This was a dumb plot twist that we didn't need, but I liked the design, and sure, why not make us kill our father? It's fine. What about
I am
you,
squarely
John?
Against a 20-minute cutscene at the start of this chapter. Like all the events we talked about with being attacked, that stuff takes a long time. Like it is a whole not interactive. It's an episode of an anime. Like it's 20 minutes, that whole cutscene. I think maybe 15. So almost an episode of an anime.
Well, I'd rather that than they try to force in some sort of shitty mini game that lets us shoot things out of the sky or something. The controls in this game are crap. The menus are crap. And no matter whatever mini game they came up with, it would have been crap.
All right.
So next time we're going to finish the game, right?
Yep. Next time we are going to finish this game. Are
Should
you
we
ready?
talk about what we're going to play next? Because we have not announced it.
Oh, sure.
Next time on Square Roots, we're going to do Dragon Quest V.
Hooray!
So, yeah, it's pretty good so far. I've been playing it and I enjoy it.
I haven't played that in 10 years. I would like to play it again.
All right. So, are we done? What's next?
Dragon Quest. Next is, I think we have a letter. I will read a letter from a listener. A listener like you. Not you, Matthew.
Like you.
Ben asks,
I'm
you
gonna
make
write it
time to
right
play
now.
through these classic games and then devote even more time to bantering about them for our amusement, but are obviously still aware of and playing the games, playing the stuff that's coming out now. How? Where do you find the time to play so many games and still go out and see movies, hold jobs, and so on? I envy and admire your ability to spend so much time staring at screens while seemingly being much cooler and having cooler friends than us mere listeners. Can we be friends?
Are you ready for some hot tips?
Sure.
Tip number 1.
Tip 1.
I am fortunate enough to live in a place where I have a short commute. Take a look at your life. Commuting might be consuming a large amount of your time. If it is, consider public transportation. Because if you have a mobile device, you can play games and transport yourself at the same time.
And watch movies and television.
Yeah. So look for opportunities to multitask the things you have to do with the things you want to do. Tip number 2.
Tip 2.
Eschew any and all romantic relationships.
It's
Dating and
birthday.
love takes up lots of time. Try being super single.
Here's a pro tip for that. Severe depression really helps to cancel out any sort of, desire for a life outside of video games.
Yeah, if you can find your way to an anxiety disorder that
Yes.
makes you uncomfortable with leaving the house, you'll find that you have a lot more time to stay home and play games. John, do you have any tips?
My tip, I don't have a lot of free time right now. So basically this game's, I make one night for playing other stuff a week if possible. And then I devote basically a whole day to playing the game for the podcast. So like this week, Saturday for me was doing chores and then playing the podcast or playing the game for the podcast for 6 hours. But I try to make sure I have a day where I'm playing something that is not for the podcast. And I find I can't play other RPGs much.
Yeah.
Because I get RPG'd out. So that's why Valkyria Chronicles is good because it's like a different kind of game. I try to sneak in them every so often. But yeah, I'm working 60 hours a week right now. So it's not enough time.
And I think not right now, but earlier this year I was at like a 58-hour a week schedule. And that just does make it harder to find times for the show. I tend to, if I know I have free time, for example, we have a holiday weekend coming up, I might heavy load game playing then, and then do other activities throughout the week. And I also don't watch a whole lot of television. Like there are a few shows that I watch, but you have to kind of choose between games and TV at a certain point.
That's a big one too. But I try to go out at least once a week, go hang out with friends, or play games, or it's kind of one of the two. Like either I'm going to go be social or play some video game.
Yeah. It actually helps to do this show and have the level up because sometimes if I'm feeling like anxious or depressed and I don't want to go somewhere, I'll have a friend be like, oh, do you want to go do this interesting thing? And there's a part of me that's like, that would make a really good level up. So like it's sort of an extra motivation to go do something I wouldn't normally do. For example, tonight I am going to the R-rated circus. Stay tuned.
I can't wait to hear about that next week
for that level up. Yeah.
Ooh, R-rated circus. Yeah. And I don't really play that many games other than, like, I played multiplayer games and got Mario Party. But I am not playing any other single player games, like, consistently right now. I'll try.
I've been playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but I've been playing that for like a month because there's not that much time.
I'm in kind of a game hole. There's nothing I want to play that I have right now.
Oh.
What
about Spider-Man?
I'm playing a lot of PUBG still, but I'm kind of getting tired of that too.
Yeah, what about Spider-Man? You loved that
I
Spider-Man.
did. I didn't finish it though. I got sidetracked playing Rogue Galaxy and then PUBG, and I haven't turned it back on, and now I'm kind of like intimidated to try and dive back into it.
What about Rad Dad Redemption 2?
I don't like those games. I don't like Rockstar games.
Oh, and as to the last question, can we be friends? Yeah.
You know what? That's nice, Vanessa. As for me, guys, I'm all friended up. All right? I'm good. Got my friends.
Well, I mean,
I got my online friends. I got my real life friends. I got my podcast friends. I don't need more clicks. I'm good. Thank you.
well, by being friends, I mean, you're welcome to join the Facebook group, the Square Root group, and then we can be Facebook group friends. And that's a kind of friendship.
Yeah, I think you have to have realistic expectations about our friendship. We can do Facebook group friends, but you should also check out Lindsay Ellis's video on being an online content creator and the pitfalls of parasocial relationships. Like, I thought I was friends with all these podcasters I was listening to for years until I realized, no, they don't know who I am. And I'm just someone who bugs them on Twitter. And realizing that was good because it made me more realistic about how well I know people and how to not assume familiarity when it does not exist. And I think that's important too. So watch that Lindsay Ellis video. It's really interesting. And I think some of us who maybe are socially awkward, it's a good, like, hey, you need to sometimes be okay with not being friends with YouTubers and podcasters and stuff you like. We have a Patreon. There are several levels. We might be doing changes in the next week or so, but we'll post about it on the Patreon, in the Facebook group, and there will be probably a special episode about it.
Yeah,
like a little
by
shortened.
might, I mean, definitely. And look forward to a higher quality of content.
Yes.
You don't think our content's been quality? I think we just released some of the best episodes of our lives. Quiet Man.
Yeah, that's true.
What was the one for Quiet Man? The Until Dawn that I thought was so good, I posted it to the main feed.
Oh, right. That was really good, too.
Yeah, you'll like the Quiet Man. But, yeah, basically, there won't be super changes, but there'll be some. So you'll want to review that episode when we post it. And, if you need to change your subscription, that's fine, too. But check out our Patreon. There are bonus episodes. We've recorded like 14 of them so far that you can go back and listen to. I think I strongly recommend.
There's gotta be like 50 of those fucking things by now.
Oh, there's not that many. It's weird.
3 a month.
I know.
It hasn't been that long.
But there's tons of fun bonus content. Level ups and, versus episodes and instant classics. We did a versus on The Quiet Man, that is now will be coming out, I think, at the end of the month. So, it won't be in your feed yet, but it will be pretty soon. And that game is bonkers. Do not buy it.
No.
Definitely buy it and play it.
Unless it's like $4.
Definitely buy
definitely.
it and play it.
Go on YouTube and there's one that's called like An Anatomy of a Disaster, where this guy really does a pretty good job breaking down sort of what this game was meant to be and what it is. I think that A Quiet Man will be something that's talked about for many years to come when people release worst game of all times lists.
It is a huge disaster, and I think we had a lot of fun playing through it, and I think you'll like our super long instant classic versus thing on it. So check that out. And now, one of the other things we do, there's a tier there's a tier for bonus episodes, a tier for voting, and we also will, if you are pledging $1 or more, we will read your name at the end of the episodes, like we're about to now.
What Patreon time? John's got a lot of names, none of them rhyme. Let's go.
Okay.
Johnny.
Devin Sloan.
Sloaney.
Race Jenkins. Joseph A. Rogers. Xavier Krieger. David Shook. This is the worst thing I've ever done. Matthew Jorgensen. Vanessa's mom. Stu Skeel. Sam Harrison. James Platt. G. Bailey.
Bailey in the house.
Robert T. Ross Hartley. Tyler Petty rapping like a commercial from the 80s. Tony Toy. Justin Ham. Bree Girth. Cultural Appropriation. Meredith Anderson. Brian Pitt. Warren Childress. I feel terrible. Patrick, definitely not a robot. Cooper. Josh Anderson. Andrew Wayne. Okay, we've lost the beat here. Mothma of Mon Calamari, Julian Titus, Brian Stone, Aaron Bachman, Robert M. Pullum, Tracy Chanoff, Kiva Moser, Samu Mitchell, Rusty Kamada, Tom, Justin Benoit, Ashley T., Nathan Poirot, and Randy Pierce. It's Megan Sullivan up in here with Patrick W. Bears, who has W means love. As also Wonder Swan, Jonathan Lee, Gregory, and James Hostetler, Jake Dickerson, Devin Green, Miguel Torres, and Jonathan Ellsworth. Go Cry Wolf, Eric Garby, Artie Pavlov, Vanessa's mom, Brady A. Berman, Ryan Miller, Cameron Show, Cyril the Wolf,
Chorus time, it's the Patreon.
Julia Zanella, Nick.
Good God, this list has gotten long.
Patreon. Yeah.
Go to Paris, France, Sean Walshow and Marble, Florian Jonas Krieger.
It's the Patreon time.
I think that's it, right? Kramer, sorry. Bobby Midkiff, Huxley Iguana, Benjamin Avner, George Armbruster.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it, and we learned that our ability between the three of us to sustain a rap song is less than however long that took.
There's a Windows commercial from the 80s where it's like starts with like a Mission Impossible kind of thing, and she starts rapping about Windows 386. And I think I was on that level of terribleness, and it's embarrassing.
So 80s.
That commercial sounds great. I'm going to go look it up.
All right. Is
80s
that it?
corporate commercial white lady rapping.
What's left?
I would say my skill level.
And we talked about how listeners can send an email to the Square Roots podcast at gmail.com if they want to talk to us, or
No,
hit
but
us
they
up
sure
on
can.
Twitter at Square Roots Pod, or visit us on our Facebook group at the Square Roots group for smart, cool, very attractive people.
Hey, you know our theme? Do you know our theme there, Matthew?
Yeah, it's pretty good this time.
It's Ferdk's cover of Braveheart, the battle theme for Rogue Galaxy. Check out Ferdk's YouTube, his music on iTunes, Facebook page, and support Ferdk's music on their Patreon, patreon.com/Ferdk. And rate, review, and subscribe. If you take a little screen capture of your review, wherever you review it, whatever site has reviews, I'll let you know how you leveled up.
Yeah, get weird with it, listeners. Go write us a review on Yelp or something and send it in. We'll take it.
Yeah.
It's fine. We don't care.
Write a real sleazy review of us on like squirt.org or something.
Does Pornhub have
Nifty.
reviews? Do we post
It
our
does.
episodes to Pornhub? Write
We
us
totally
a Pornhub
should.
review.
All right. So for Square Roots, I am John Brandon.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
And I'm Vanessa.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Is the sparkling Matthew Van Zandt.
God damn it. Sorry, my chair.
Okay, let's try that again. And with me today is the Squeakables Matthew Van Zandt.
Yep, that's me. Squeakable.
Mm-hmm. And also is Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, John.
And welcome to Square Roots. This is the classic RPG podcast where we play through a RPG one chunker at a time.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Does it?
This week we are on part 7 of 8. So we're almost done here of a Rogue Galaxy.
Yeah, that galaxy's gone rogue.
It's gone crazy.
Jester Rogues going rogue.
Now, this game is called Jester Rogues Galaxy, and it's about the Joker. He starts going by the name Jackster in the future because it's, that's the future spelling of Joker. And so, yeah, Joker's Rogue Galaxy.
You've heard of Rick Steve's Europe. Well, get ready for Jester Rogues Galaxy.
Man, that chair is... What is up with that chair?
Usually I'm sitting on the edge of my seat so you guys don't hear it as much, so that's why I just
Oh,
you're so
but today you're not excited, yeah.
I kind of have to lean over to talk into this thing. Basically, recording is it used to be pretty comfy, but now it's not. I hate it, so this
I
is the
think
last,
someone needs
chair
a new
back?
chair.
last episode of the show.
Oh no. Why can't you make it comfy again?
I broke that chair.
Make chair comfy again.
No, we're not making that joke.
I can still hear a heckin' echo.
Yeah, a little bit of there. A little bit of a teeny bit of an echo.
How's that?
I'll talk real loud. Yeah, I don't hear me.
I'll talk real loud. I don't hear me.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
I might have to send these back and try to get something else because this is a problem for this and for when I'm playing on the Xbox. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Glad that I fucking spent $75 on these goddamn headphones.
I thought they were a gift from your mother.
Yeah, they still cost me $75.
This is shocking news. Your mother charges you for gifts?
Excuse me. They still cost $75.
I
Yeah.
see.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there's the vaping.
Okay, is this going to be complaint about Matt Day? Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, Matt, is this Matt Day? I'm Matt. Hey, look, we're playing a podcast. Here's my complaint about Matt. Let's move on. All right, before we play our classic RPG, one chunker at a time. Hello.
Hi.
Before we play our classic RPG, one chunker at a time, let's do a level up.
This is going great.
This is our best episode ever.
You know, when Jim decided to take his gym break, we knew there was only a certain amount of time that the three of us could keep it together without his stabilizing influence, and we've reached the end of our limit.
I think so.